never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Good afternoon. I have got Nigel Greenwood with me today. Hello, Nigel. How the devil are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. As you jolly well know, I'm bouncing around my shed. It's a Wednesday and I'm chatting to amazing people. And this week we're talking to yourself. So first off, Nigel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a simple bloke from Bradford, career in financial services. Doing that, I learned how to map customer journeys and went contracting with large corporates to do that after I left the bank. Set up my own business 2013 to do that and act as a business advisor for small businesses.
Absolutely perfect. And look, we've both been in business a while. We know that small business owners need a hand, don't they?
They certainly do. You can see all the stats, so high failure rates, 3 out of 4 don't get any advice. But those that do, 40% more likely to succeed. So for me, they're the backbone of the UK economy. There's millions out there. I think they're worth £2.2 trillion a year to the economy. So it's absolutely huge and they need all the help they can get.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think small business owners don't get the help then, Nigel?
So I think there's a few reasons. One is that some are very self-confident and believe they don't need any advice until they've been in business a while and find out how hard it can be. One is they don't qualify for the government-funded schemes like Adventure or Help to Grow. They only help about 5% of businesses. And then the other is budget. So they can't afford to pay a good business advisor the hourly rates that they deserve. So they tend to resort to Google, which gives you lots of interesting information, but it's probably not the right thing for you.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Business advisors. You've set up your new bookkeeping or accountancy practice, and you've probably had to buy a laptop. You probably had to buy some licenses and stuff like that. And so that, the last thing you've got no clients at the moment. You're trying to win new clients. You're talking to all your friends, etc. And business advisors, they're typically charging between £50 to £500 an hour. Is that,
yeah, about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a new accountant or bookkeeper, you're probably only looking to get £50 to £100 an hour. So how on earth can I warrant paying, a load of money? So you've come up with a little solution, is that right?
It is, yes. It's BuBul, which is short for Business Builder.
Ah, right. I wonder where the name came from, but I do like the name. BuBul's great. So Business Builder, it's an app. Tell us a little bit about the app, please, Nigel.
So it's the world's first software that acts like a business advisor. So it asks you the questions that an advisor would, and it uses your answers to work out what advice you need. Then it gives you the recommendations specific to yourself, and each of them has got a link to an advice page, which has been created by a subject matter expert. And at the bottom of the page, you see the expert's details, and the page tells you either to go back to your accountant and have a chat with them, or if they can't help or you don't have an accountant, to talk to the business advisor, the expert, and they'll give you between 15 and 30 minutes advice at no extra cost.
That is genius. That is genius. And that's why I wanted you on the show, because the thing is, I love helping people, but I've got to charge for my time because I'm not a charity. I've got bills to pay. But this is a great way of doing it, isn't it? Because you've obviously worked out all the different answers and scenarios and stuff like that. It must have been a nightmare to build the app. But basically, I can go in there and I've had a play with it. It's absolutely superb. The questions are brilliant, and it is like having a business advisor, coach, mentor sat in the office asking me all these questions. Like, right, okay. And I'm guessing for different scenarios, it's going to come up with different things and all that sort of malarkey. But the fact that I can just press a button and then book a call with somebody to help me with SEO or something is absolute genius.
Thank you. Yeah, I think it's a really simple concept. And yes, it's complicated to put together. It took 6 years altogether.
Wow.
And more money than I would like to mention in public, especially if my wife's listening. But for me, it's just a way of making proper advice available to every small business. And the reason that we've done a version for accountants and bookkeepers is so they can have their own branding on it, and they can become business advisors to all their small clients, so they can offer a wide range of advice than they would do normally. There are some areas we don't cover, so we don't cover the compliance and finance bits because that's the remit of the accountant and bookkeeper. So why duplicate what they're doing already?
So I'm now an accountant or a bookkeeper. I could actually add this as one of my services that I offer to my clients.
Yeah.
So would I run the package, or would I give the package to my client? How would that work, Nigel?
All you do is, so you'll be paying us a monthly license fee. You get your own version with your own branding. You can register your clients on it. You can charge them whatever you want to do for it. So you can make a return. We've got some that will do that. We've got some that will give it away to the clients. Your clients then get on and use it. So it's not taking up any of your time, but the clients are getting the advice that they need. And you can actually see the advice that they're getting. So if you're having conversations with them, you know where they are, you know what progress they're making with it. And it just means you can have more informed conversations, and it makes it easier for you to make sure that your clients are getting all the advice that they deserve at an affordable price.
Yeah, no, that makes an awful lot of sense. Margaret's just come up with something here. Accountants are so well placed to be commercial advisors, but having your product is super empowering. And that's the thing, isn't it? A lot of accountants I talk to are so stuck in the compliance, especially at the moment. They're starting to think about tax return season and getting all the information in, and so like, oh, how can I give a little bit more value? Well, if I do that, and I'm guessing then, Nigel, I'm a small business and my accountant's sorted this out for me, and I'm going in and asking questions, answering all the questions. They might turn around and say, look, go and have a chat with your accountant. And so therefore the accountant's going to get a little bit more business as well.
Yeah, and not only that, but because each advice page says, go and talk to your accountant first, what it means is that, say, for example, it works out that somebody needs to get better on LinkedIn. So it'll give them some advice from a subject matter expert, and then it'll say, but chat to your accountant. So that you might, as an accountant, you might well then get a client phone in and saying, I've used this and it says I need to get better at LinkedIn. Can you recommend anybody? Now, the accountant might not be brilliant at LinkedIn themselves, but they may well have a client, or they'll know you, for example, and they can do a referral to you. So it's just a win-win situation for everybody.
This all sounds really, really too good to be true. Is there any catch there, Nigel?
Ooh, good question. No. So for me, the catch is the big mistake I made with it was that I put all my money into developing it. So we're a small business. We've got very little budget. So it's getting the word out there. I think the biggest point at the moment is because it's the first of its type, it's getting people getting used to what it can do. Yep. Like you say, when you're actually in it, it's like having an advisor in the room with you 24/7.
No, it's absolutely superb, and the questions are brilliant. And the thing is, there's lots of different areas. So when you first go into it, it's sort of like, haven't got a clue, just hit this button. But if you know that your website needs a bit more work, you can go into that marketing sort of area, and Bob's your uncle. It's absolutely superb. Even Jonathan agrees, absolutely agrees with what Margaret's saying. So there is a cost, and so that's going to be the catch. Yeah, we've talked about between £50 and £500 an hour. How much does your product cost? If you're happy to talk about that live on the show.
Yeah. So if you're an individual micro business, it's £20 a month plus VAT. For accountants and bookkeepers to get their own version, it starts at £95 a month, and that gives you licenses for 10 clients. Plus you get 1,000 licenses for anyone starting up their own business. And then it rises up to £195 a month, which gives you licenses for 50 clients. And then you can buy extra licenses whenever you want. So if you want to make a return, you can end up paying £3-4 a month per client license, but then you can be charging them £10 a month. They're still getting a good deal. You're making a return.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. I can't see why people wouldn't be signing up and buying that. So we need to get the word out there and get people helping you. So you're obviously working with accountants and bookkeepers quite closely then, because they are talking to the small business owners, the backbone of Britain. So what sort of challenges are you seeing that accountants and bookkeepers are having at the moment?
I think the biggest one comes down to time or lack of it. So I find that when it's quite hard to get a meeting in the diary because they're that busy. They may be struggling with recruitment or having to automate things like that. And I think a lot of that means then they don't have enough time to nurture their smaller clients. And that's a real shame, because there's been lots of research amongst the micro businesses, and about 1 in 2 of them see their accountant or bookkeeper as the first place to go for advice. So there's a massive opportunity out there for all the accountants and bookkeepers to add a lot more value to their business and to their clients. And I can't help with the recruitment. I can't help with the awkward customers that don't do as they should do and end up delivering everything 2 days before the accounts are due. But what we can help with is making sure that they're adding value to the clients, they're giving them the right advice without having to put the time and effort into doing it.
Yeah, no, so many people I talk to, it is lack of time. We can all, make more money, find more money, whatever, but it's finding the time. And the accounting space is one that is really, struggling to find the time. Margaret's come up. Just regards accountants. Having spent 20 years marketing a firm, I found that businesses really resonated with the firm that were commercially minded themselves. So embracing solutions to do that is very, very wise. Yeah, absolutely, Margaret. It's, you lead by example, don't you? You're not going to go to a builder whose house is falling down. And I guess it's the same way with business advice and stuff like that. Yeah. And so what's the best story you've got, Nigel, of you helping an accountant?
So when an accountant shows interest in BuBul, we give them access to it so they could use it for their own business and see what it's really like. And one accountant, fairly local to me, used it, and he was struggling to get leads, so to get new clients. So much so that he was actually paying somebody to book appointments for him.
Oh, wow.
He used BuBul. What it worked out was that he wasn't getting enough referrals from existing clients. So it suggested a way to do it. They were a bit skeptical. They actually phoned me and said, "Are you sure this is going to work?" And I said, "Yes, it's been done before." So what the advice was to send a very short 4-question feedback survey to the clients. And the 4th question is, I'm trying to grow my business, helping more people like you. Would you be happy to recommend us? And a week later, he had 19 referrals from clients. And most of them were commenting, "I didn't know you wanted to grow your business. I've sent you loads of referrals before." So he was very happy and took out BuBul straight away for his clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. That's genius. We forget this advice. My mother always said to me, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah.
And sometimes we just forget to ask for the business because I'm an accountant. I need new clients, but no, you've never asked, never thought so. And you're always complaining you're too busy. So that's the other thing. So you're working in business. You're helping other businesses. You've created this this process and everything else that you've done. What on earth made you want to develop this amazing app then, Nigel?
So it's based on the process I was using when I was doing the customer journey mapping and helping small businesses. And I realized that there were lots of small businesses that couldn't afford to use me. And they thought the only way to get something out there at a low price is either to put loads of my time and effort into doing workshops, webinars, charging for those who are doing a subscription. But people are going to get sick of listening to me. And I only have so much time. So the solution was software. And I spent 6 months looking to see if there was anything like that out there, and there wasn't. I'd been fairly successful in what I was doing before, so I had some money behind me. I'd never developed software before, so I thought, how hard can it be?
It's a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah, it is. Although, so we've got a couple of developers working with us on it. I think it's a very simple thing. And I'm really good at saying, I want something that looks like this and does this. And then the developers take over. And one of them had a conversation with me a few weeks ago, and he's developed systems for international corporations. And he says this is the most complex thing that he's ever worked on. So wow. It's, yeah, I think it's a bit of a beast. But we've automated just about everything. We're now really good at getting feedback from people that use it, adding more content, improving functionality, and we'll carry on doing that. We've got plans for the next 5 years.
Oh, wow. That's incredible. That's incredible. So say I'm a business advisor, okay, and I'm really good at, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but just say LinkedIn. How does one get on your list of advisors? Because I can see that that's also a great idea to get in front of lots of different people.
Yeah, so you need to talk to me, and I need to get to like, know, and trust you.
Oh, perfect.
And if I don't know you that well, I'll talk to some of your clients. I'll look at you on LinkedIn. I'll get to know how you really feel. I'll have quite a long chat with you. And what I'm looking for are people that are interested in helping small businesses, are prepared to give some of the time to help them. So BuBul's great in that it can work out somebody's got a need that you can meet, and it can introduce you to them. But what it doesn't do is work out whether or not they've got any budget. So you've got to be the sort of person that can help somebody and build that relationship, assuming that over time you'll start to earn some money from them. And out of the 75 we've got on board now as experts, we've had probably over 400 or 500 that have asked to be on. And I've turned down most of them because they were more interested in how much money could they earn from it straight away. Or they just weren't, they didn't have the right products or services for small businesses. So we're really choosy about who we have on the platform. But for me, that's the best way, because it's my brand, it's my ethics, it's my values. And if somebody doesn't match up to them, something is going to go wrong at some point, and a customer will get let down. And I'm not prepared to let that happen.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fantastic. And that's great that you've got that sort of onboarding thing and strict criteria, because that means that when I go in and it tells me I need to speak to Bob this expert, I know that Bob this expert is going to be absolutely brilliant, going to have the right ethics and really be keen to help me. And I think that's amazing. So you've got 75 advisors. So I was going to say, what do you cover? It'd be easier to say what you don't cover, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so we don't cover the areas that accountants and bookkeepers specialize in, because there's just no point. We're just launching a new area, which is reducing carbon footprint. So we're onto that one. We're looking at innovation as the next one. So we've got some gaps, and the more experts that we can get on board, the better it will be. But we're driven by feedback from the people that use it. So we ask them what they want, what else do they want? Because that's the best way to be. I don't want to assume that a small business needs to know about X, Y, Z. But if I get enough people telling me they need that advice, then we'll provide it.
No, perfect. I've got Anita's just popped on there. So this is one of your 75, is that right?
She is, yes. Yeah. She's brilliant.
Hi, Anita. Yeah, you're going to say that. So Anita, so I put into information here, and it turns around and goes, oh, you've got a real problem with credit control. I'll end up getting a little having a chat with Anita, and she'll be able to point me in the right direction and get that money in. And so what Anita's saying is a perfect service enhancer for accountants. So yeah, absolutely, I can so see this. And the thing that I was chatting to you about is, as a business coach, business advisor myself, I'm sort of, you the first thought would be, oh my goodness, this is going to put me out of a job, because you hear all this AI coming and everyone's not going to have jobs. And I think it's the other way around, Nigel.
Yeah.
Because I'm a small business owner. I've just set up. I keep hearing everybody saying that I need business advice. I can't afford it. I don't believe in it. I don't know what it is, et cetera, et cetera. For 20 odd pound a month, I get to try it, and oh my goodness, this is amazing. I'm going to take my business here, and here. So I think it's a great entry point to open up the world of business advice and mentorship. So I think that's genius as well.
Thank you. Yeah, so we don't tie anybody into a long-term contract. So the minimum period is 30 days. And the reason we do that is we want people to stay with us because they get the advice that they need. And it's not suitable for everybody. It's great for those small businesses that would otherwise struggle to find a really good advisor. But by using BuBul to get the advice that they need, it helps them grow. They'll get the experts that they need and they can work with. If they then get to the point where they qualify for one of the government funded schemes, those are great. They should be going on and doing those. If they get to the point where they can afford a really good business advisor, the software is great, but it doesn't beat having the right person in the room and really knowing the business. And AI will never get to that point. It's all about the people.
Yeah, absolutely. And what looking at your CV and where you've been and what you've been doing, and see, we both used to work at Lloyd's. You've AI isn't going to have that.
No.
And I bet you've got a million stories, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we want as business owners, because then there's credibility there. You've been there, you've done that, you've got the T-shirt, and done all of those things.
Yeah, it's funny. So when I started doing the journey mapping and the business advice, my son was leaving university and looking for a career, and we're having a chat, and he said, "I don't get why people pay you to do what you do, Dad." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, it's just common sense, isn't it? You have a business, you've got a product that meets a need, you find those people that have that need, you sell it to them at a price they could afford, and you look after them. So why would they pay you for common sense?" And I just said, well, sometimes common sense goes out of the window, especially when you're running your own business. And I'm guilty of that. I'm great at advising others. I'm not that good at taking my own advice sometimes, and I've got to keep stopping and thinking, actually, I should be doing that and doing it that way. But that's one of the great things about the software, that it's all there, it's standard, it's delivering what it should all the time. The hard thing about the software for me is that I thought, oh, we'll launch it and it'll be great. But actually, you never stop improving it. So it's just an ongoing piece. But, I'm still a really young guy. I know I look old, but I had a paper round at a very early age. And, for me, it's about building a business that makes a difference and that will continue to grow and make that difference for small businesses across the UK for the moment, hopefully worldwide at some point.
No, absolutely fantastic. So what are the biggest mistakes that small business owners are making today? What's if you went into your average small business, what's the 3 things they could do?
First one is that most of them haven't had any advice, so they go down a certain route. And the biggest mistake is that they want to grow the business, they don't get the advice, so they tend to Google, how do I grow my business? And they get lots of advice about marketing. Now, marketing's great, and it's very much got its place, and it's vital for a business. But I've seen lots of businesses where they put lots of time, money, and effort into marketing, when actually somebody had asked them the right questions, they already had enough leads, but their conversion rate wasn't good enough, or their retention rate wasn't good enough. So it's looking after customers through that whole customer journey. But until somebody stops and asks you those questions, and we went through this, didn't we, as you were going through BuBul with me, and you just started laughing at one of the questions because you realized it was something that you should do, but you weren't doing. And it's that sort of piece. I think the other mistake is they work in the business too much and not on the business. And it's really important to carve out time to work on the business and plan, and just get the right processes in place, automate what you can. I know you know Tracy Irwin, and I, just to promote something other than myself for the moment, if anybody hasn't got her book 1, 2, 3, they should go out and get it now.
I'm just bending down to get it.
Yeah.
Look, it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. There's a load of nuggets in there. So yeah, thoroughly enjoying that. Totally agree. A great book. And Tracy is a great advisor as well. So I've been doing a lot of work with Tracy. So yeah, no, totally agree.
Brilliant.
Cool. That's your 15 minutes over and done. It's just flown by. I don't know if you realize we've done nearly 30 minutes. I could chat to you all day. But how can people get hold of you? How do they get hold of the app? What's the process, please, Nigel? Because everybody should have this.
Okay, so you've got my email address on the screen. If you want, so you can email me at any time. If you want to go to the website, which is bubbleexpert.com, if you're a small business, you can buy it there and then. If you're an accountant or bookkeeper, you can book a demo with us. We'll then give you free access to it for your own business. And then you can decide whether or not it's right for you and your clients.
Oh, fantastic. Nigel, you've been absolutely superb. I've got one more question for you. But before I do that, I'm just going to give a shout out to Raja, who's on with me next week. He's launching some software to help accountants and bookkeepers with pricing for free. So interesting to have a chat with him, how that's going to work. So he's here next week. But my final question to you, Nigel, is what, when you were at school, in your shorts, in the playground, primary school, what did you want to be when you grew up?
You're asking me to think back a long time now, Ashley.
Oh, you told me you were young.
Yeah, young in mind. I wanted to be a writer. So my mom taught me to read when I was 3, 4.
Wow.
And I got into it in a big way. So she took me down to the library and I got a junior library card. But you could only get three books a week. And I'd got through those in a day.
Wow.
So the following week, she took me back down. She got a ticket herself. So I could then have 9 books a week. And I was getting through the 9 books a week. So absolutely passionate. I wanted to be a writer. I thought about going down the journalist route initially, but that was 6 years at university and I wanted to start earning some money. So I ended up going into banking and forgot about that. But I did get there eventually. I've now had 3 books published. I've got an idea for another one. Or I did have an idea for another one, but Tracy stole it and wrote a better book than I could ever do. But yeah, that's what I would have liked. I would have really liked to have a bookstore that had a coffee bar in it, live music at night, and I could sit and write books and meet interesting people all day. I think that would have been my dream at that time.
Oh, fantastic. That sounds idyllic. I'll come and play the live music for you. That would be brilliant. Go on, set that up. Get that set up. Nigel, that's a great story. Thank you so much for being on my show today. And thank you to everybody for all your lovely comments. And don't forget to get hold of Nigel, because it really is a great product. Thank you, Nigel. Cheerio.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Ashley. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win.